I will show you what somebody who lives in a studio apartment does for setup. Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome back to my channel. I talk about planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. Today, I thought I'd do something a little different and give you a tour of my filming setup for my YouTube videos. It is a bit messy as I live in a studio apartment and I own and have more things than I should have for studio apartments. But this is real life. I will show you what somebody who lives in a studio apartment does for setup, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. I will link everything that I have links for down below in the description, so I hope you will check those out. And here's the tour. Have fun. Okay. First up, we have my stand for when I do the talking head videos and both the overhead shots. So this will, see if I can get that to focus. This is all adjustable and I could bend this down. And this is an Arkon stand and it's really useful. The one thing I will say is that when the camera that I have is that far out, I do find it useful to put a couple of books on this side to counterbalance it, and I just have it on a folding table because that's what I have. It's movable, and the source of my light, the sky. So when I am doing my filming, it is generally during the day, and that makes the timing of doing videos a little frustrating, and one of the reasons why I have cut back for videos for November and December. And this is my desk setup. So over here is my work desk, since I am now working from home. So this is the work provided laptop, and then I just got a mechanical keyboard and mouse and everything for it. And this is for my work when I have meetings, and I love this headset so much. It is a, oh, I totally forget, Razer, I believe. I will link this, but this was one of the things I discovered during the beginning of the pandemic. It is a Windows only headset, so which helps because my work laptop is Windows, but it makes going to meetings on Zoom fun. And then next up is my personal desktop computer. This is where I do all of my editing. As you can see, it is a Mac. It is a 27-inch Mac. It's about 4.5 years old now. And when I bought it, I maxed out all of the memory. I got like the top of the line that I could afford and a little more. So, and it's worth it because it works well. It's great. As you can see, my desk is messy, but the current stand that I have it on is a ream of 8x14 paper. So yes, but that's the thing. You just work with what you have, and it works. And honestly, until pandemic, I didn't have it on the stand. It was fine, but because I was spending so much time here in this space, I realized I needed it a little higher, and I happen to have this ream of 8x14 paper that I barely use. And so that's what it's for. And then where I keep my filming equipment is I keep the camera in this case from Simply Gilded. It's just a pen pouch, and I thought it was cute, and the camera fit. And then I also have my extra battery in there, as well as the topper for the microphone jack. And then this is the little carrying case for the tripod slash remote. And this is just a little box from Lock and Lock that I got off of QVC because I had a very long addiction to QVC and Lock and Lock. And so I was looking for something to use this, and so I just stuck all of my AV equipment in there. So this is the Lavaliere mic that I purchased when I thought I was going to primarily be using my phone, and it doesn't actually work with the camera. So this pretty much stays in here. Hi, I just wanted to interrupt really quickly to say that since I first filmed the video and was complaining about my lavalier mic not working, I have actually discovered the reason why it was not working. It turns out that I needed to use an adapter, which I am showing here, that did come with the microphone pack. The problem was that I was searching for troubleshooting issues with my camera. Turns out I needed to search for the troubleshooting issues with the microphone. As soon as I typed in issues with mic not working with camera and put in the name of the brand of the microphone, the answer immediately popped up. They have it on their website and they're like, oh yes, you actually need this adapter. So after 3.5 months, finally putting in the correct search terms gets me the answer in about 5 seconds. You would never know that I am a former reference librarian. I'm still a librarian, I just don't work in reference anymore. The lavaliere mic actually works perfectly, and I'm so excited because this means that I don't have to do as much soundproofing or sound adjustment in my apartment, like turning off the heat or turning off all of my fans. And I'm really looking forward to using it. But I can't explain why, but they've got this lovely explanation on the adapter as to pins and something that the one plug works for my iPhone, but the adapter is what allows it to actually work with the cameras. Lavaliere mic is actually perfect, and this was actually really great because it was only like, I don't think it was more than 30 bucks. I think it might have even been like around $20. So I'll link everything below as to the equipment that I'm using. But yes, feel free to drop any comments if you have any questions about any of the equipment that I'm using. So back to the regularly scheduled video. And then this is the extra heads for my Arkon stand. So if I wanted to switch it out, right now it's the screw for the camera, but if I want to switch it out to be a phone holder or tablet holder, I could use this. And then various manuals, the extra SD card. This is what came with the camera, and then I purchased a 128 gig card. That is primarily what I use, so I've never taken this out of the case, obviously. Various cords and stuff, so that's where I keep all of my AV stuff, at least the primary AV things. And it's great because it's got a handle and I can just pull it and take it. This is something I actually bought a couple years ago and ended up really using for doing holding my phone to do actually my therapy appointments, as well as sometimes calls with my parents and everything. But yeah, so desk is a bit messy. You can see all of my planner stuff and then some. And actually this is a tracker that I made for myself that is basically a production tracker. And so I have the topic of the video and the number, and I'm going to have to revise the numbering because I'm going to be cutting some of the photos, but basically, have I outlined the script? Have I filmed it, edited, etc., etc. There are other people who sell trackers like this that you can purchase. So this was just me playing around in Canva, and you can play around and create something that's specific to you. And then this is just handwritten, my original filming schedule for this fall and editing schedule. But yeah, so let's see if I can turn a page. There it is. And video ideas, just having a notebook. Like I said, this is where I do all of my editing. In fact, if I bring it up, there is iMovie. I use iMovie because that was the free program, and since I spent money on my camera, I did not have the extra money to do editing program like well, whatever the ones that's like $300, $400. You don't need it. I have iMovie. It's, like I said, it's free with buying a Mac, which, considering what you spend for a Mac, even on Windows computers that are not provided by your office, you have Windows Movie Maker or a similar film editing software. And so just start small. And as I said, I originally was going to start with just my camera. In fact, here is what the stand that I bought, and it attaches to my desk. It's just a clamp attachment, and this is what I originally bought in order to do filming with my camera. And I was very lucky and received a gift that covered the cost of the camera that I do use. And so, but I still have this. I have found this useful to do certain things, and so I just leave it attached to my desk. But this is an articulated arm that is readily movable, and you can easily see, and you can see how easily it moves around with that. So let's see if I can get it focused in on there. There we go. It's just that kind of, it works well. And so if I had wanted to continue filming using my desk, I could have done that. As it is, I actually have another one of these folding tables that I pull out to be the stand for, and I just stick it right in front of this one for when I do overhead filming. You can see the mess of my apartment and all the things I have to declutter. I've got a bunch of boxes, but my background. This is what I use for my background. I actually got this 5 years ago, easily, when my other author, Ego, was trying out Facebook Live. And so I was like, you know, I don't want to necessarily be showing, so I need a movable background. So I just got a movable clothes rack and a couple of shower curtains. For the longest time, I just had this pink, and it's an ombre pink, and that's the one that I used for the longest time. I had also gotten this blue one at the same time, but never pulled it out of the packaging until earlier this year. In fact, earlier this summer. And so that's the background that you've been seeing when I've been doing my talking head videos, so I can block out most of the clutter of the apartment. And I just flip it down, flip it out, and there we go. We have a movable background. And like I said, these are just shower curtains, and they're relatively cheap, easy to have, and I highly recommend it because it blocks out everything. My bed is right over there. I'm not going to show it to you because it needs to be made. It's a total mess. I use this background when I have to do Zoom calls on my desktop, and that blocks the view of my bed. It doesn't block everything around my bed, but at least blocks the view of my bed. Again, if you are in a space where you don't necessarily want to be showing everything, I would do that. Like I said, just get a movable clothes rack and a couple shower curtains and shower curtain hangers, and you're set. You're golden. And then when I want to move it, I just gather it together, one hand, flip it up, and there it's out of the way and easily movable. So for sound, the camera that I have is just really good. It was built for vloggers. It is a Sony Zv1 camera, and it comes with, it's got like a little one of those little puffy things that is supposed to help dampen down wind and other stuff. The other things that I do, because it gets loud in here, I can't fully block the outside sounds, but what I do is I make sure all of my windows are closed. I make this window is open almost all of the time, and hopefully the weird lighting will block all the dirt surrounding it because it's hard to keep clean. But I keep this window open a fair amount, but it's like I close it when I do filming. I have this heating / cooling unit that is original to the building. This building was built in the mid 1950s, and this is the original heating and cooling system that has not changed one bit. I turned that off because that's really loud. I've got this fan, which is a Dyson. I turned that off. And then I have another fan, but I turned that to the lowest setting because I do need some kind of air circulation happening in the apartment when I'm filming. Otherwise, I get really sweaty and it's really not pretty. That's it for sound. I'm going to do a quick video with my phone to show you off the Sony Zv1 and what I like best about it and all of that stuff. Hopefully, the video won't be too different from what I do on this camera, which I really do like it. As somebody who has not done vlogging or video in any serious way before, I find it easy to use. It is definitely expensive. It is one of the more expensive options for a video vlogging camera. So I would investigate doing things like on your cell phone and get used to that, and then graduate to, depending on what your budget is, save up. definitely save. Like I said, I had some unexpected money come my way, and in addition to sending the bulk of it to savings, I did splurge and get this for myself as a birthday present. Onto the video of the camera. So here's the tour of the Sony Zv1 camera. The camera by itself is, I think, around $800. I got it with the vlogging kit, which comes with this tripod, which honestly, the grips aren't that great, especially on a somewhat smooth surface such as my desk. So I tend not to use it as a tripod, and that's one of the reasons why I have the Arkon stand. I love it because of the remote. So this is the remote to start the movie. This is the remote to get photos. So when I have the camera on the stand, I can control the camera with this, and it's really great. Here is the camera with the, I think it's windscreen or something, and that covers the microphone. This is the viewer. It comes out to the right side when you are looking dead on at the camera, and it is flexible. It doesn't rotate 360 degrees, so I can't turn it any further than this way, but I turn it that way so I can do that kind of manipulation, and then I can also have it like this. So yeah, so it's reasonably movable. But yeah, so that's the full rotation aspect. I don't know how many degrees that is. And then I can turn it around, see if I can get this with this lighting. Can you focus in? So you can see here are all the various manual controls. Here are the controls on the top of the camera. This is one of the frustrating points. Underneath this windscreen is where the power button is, right there. So what I sometimes do is have it set so that the screen, when I pull it in, the screen itself will go against the body of the camera. And so when I do it like this, so when I do that, give it a second, and it turns itself off. And then when I open it up, it turns it on. So that is one way to avoid having to deal with the power button. Overall, I like this camera a lot. It is probably next level cameras for vlogging, and is definitely not necessarily the first step you want to take, but considering that it was my first step, I found it fairly easy to use. So if it is within your budget, it is definitely an option. I did my research before buying this, and so I looked at all the reviews. It actually is fairly new. And oh, one thing about this tripod, let me see if I can do it. Right here is a button, and so when you push that in, then you can adjust, and it locks, so it's not going to change unless you're pressing the button. And then the other one, it also has a rotator for this, so you can, and then that will lock that way, and you have to press the button. That is a 360 degree turn. So there we go. And so yeah, so that's this camera, and I really like it. I do recommend it, but I also would say that if it's not in your budget, do not feel like you can't make videos. One thing I want to say is that don't be afraid to use your phone as your camera, because that's how I'm filming this particular portion of the video. And the thing is, this is not only just my phone, it's an iPhone, but it's an iPhone 6S. This is an old camera. This is an old phone, I should say. So don't be afraid to use what you have in your ability and get yourself learning the skills that you need with the video editing, learning the tricks to audio and all of that. And I think you'll do great. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, I hope you enjoyed the look at the camera, and thank you so much for joining me today and my setup for filming and other things. I am so glad to have you here on my channel. If you have any requests for topics, please stick those below in the comments. I love hearing from you. Having you as part of my community is something I'm so grateful for in the first, five months that I've been doing this. 4 months, something like that. Thank you so much for joining me on this ride. I look forward to bringing you more videos in 2021. I am so thankful that you're here. If you have found anything in this video useful, please hit the like button so that YouTube knows to recommend it to others. Please also consider hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, along with the bell to be notified of when new videos are available. Thank you so much for joining me today, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Bye-bye.